Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 21. Just wrapping up season one here with our Texas Rangers franchise. We ended up finishing the season 53 and 109. We were the second to last team in baseball. We were by far the worst team in our division, but we did go 4-6 over our last 10, which was encouraging. One thing to note, Joey Gallo finished third in the AL in home runs, but obviously our division was incredible this year. I mean, I think that had something to do with it as well. You know, the Angels won 109 games this year, which is insane. And the Astros won 97. So we were in the toughest division in baseball this year, and it wasn't even close. I mean, this is just an incredible division. If you go and look actually what happened in the playoffs this year, the Angels ended up winning the World Series in a battle of LA against the Dodgers. They actually swept them. So the Angels, they swept to get to the World Series, or to the LCS, went 4-2 against Cleveland, and then swept in the World Series. So the Angels were a total powerhouse this year. I mean, look, Shohei Ohtani, 314, batted 314 and pitched to a 312 ERA. I mean, that's flat out incredible. Mike Trout had a Mike Trout year. I mean, this team, Anthony Rendon batting 300, 31 homers. Justin Upton hit 44 home runs. I mean, that's crazy. So the Angels, I mean, they really took it to the rest of the league this year. But our focus is the Texas Rangers, right? So let's go through how we finished. Elvis Andrus was our best hitter, batting 279 this year in 145 games. Elvis Andrus had a 2.1 WAR, so he really did have a good year despite all of the issues. It was his best year since 2017 when he was really in prime form. It was, the third best year of his, or one of the top 5 best years of his career, dating back to his early 20s. So Elvis Andrus really performed for us this year. He's someone that I actually am really happy going into his age 32 season, is one of the better players on our team still. So Elvis Andrus, Danny Santana played in 125 games, and he batted 265 with 17 home runs. He could potentially be someone we look to trade. I do, with these numbers, posting a 1 WAR, I expect, we will likely pick up his option despite having some depth in center field. I think it makes sense to have him. He can play a lot of different positions. And then, as far as home runs go, Joey Gallo. I mean, he finished the year about a 238, typical Joey Gallo, but 45 homers and 111 RBIs on a team like this. I mean, that's a really good year. He played to a 4 WAR. It was the best year of his career so far. He's only 26, but that's a good sign for Joey Gallo as far as his development. Robinson Chirinos had a great year for us. He only played in 95 games, but he posted a 3.7 WAR in 95 games. He batted 255 with 25 homers and 70 RBIs. He's a guy who is 36 years old. I know, my scout doesn't see a ton of decline in him, though, and I think he's going to be our starting catcher again next year, guys. I really do. Off a year like that, I certainly think he's probably worth keeping around. I mean, that's a really, really good year for Robinson Chirinos. But going back to some of the guys that we had acquired, Peterson struggled. He had some nagging injuries. I'm not totally worried about him. We promoted some guys like Joe Palumbo, Colby Albert this year. Both of them showed flashes. Definitely not ideal, but they're both really young and definitely showed some flashes. Cody Whitley ended up putting it together for us down the stretch as our closer. He ended up closing 10 games for the Rangers this year in 17 innings. He posted an ERA of 5, a little over 5, but in reality, guys, he came in and lately was really good for us. I think, he showed some flashes that he has some ability that we can certainly use in our bullpen. Justin Wilson was flat out horrible. He's not coming back next year, but guys like Blake Weinman, in short sample size, but they proved themselves. Our best pitcher this year, though, was Rafael Montero. I don't think the 0.2 WAR does him enough credit. He pitched in 67 games for us. He really was a workhorse out of the bullpen. He threw over 80 innings to a 3.5 ERA. So he's someone that definitely we're going to keep around, but let's take a look at our prospects, see how they played this year. So if you're looking at our 2020 draft prospects, Um, you know, our main guy that we had drafted was Jordan Walker. He wasn't overly impressive this year in rookie ball. Granted, it's only rookie ball. Um, our scout sees, he might not end up turning into the player that we really thought he should be, but he's still so young. We got to wait and see how he develops. The interesting player was Cole Carag. He batted 350 with 3 home runs in only 12 games, so that's obviously a really bright spot for us there. He was our second-round pick, I believe, this year. Cade Horton really struggled. He only played 8 games. Like, these guys didn't really get a ton of time. All the guys we drafted were high schoolers, so they didn't really go right into A-ball. They're still in rookie league, but if you're looking at our prospects from this year, which we have, the farm system had upgraded. I know in the middle of the year it said 14, and we're still a better farm system than we entered the year with. Sam Huff had a really good year. He batted 288 in Double-A for us. We're really pleased with how he's progressed. Mark Vientos, in 20 games in our organization, batted 250 with 3 home runs. Leori Tavares had a good year in the minor leagues this year. So there's a lot to be excited about as far as just the development of some of these players. Obviously, we don't have any superstar prospects. David Peterson's kind of already in the big leagues for us. He's already 25 years old, but he is. This is kind of what we're working with. One thing I wanted to note, our pitching staff was so atrocious this year that I have made the decision to fire Julio Rangel. I think it's time to move on from him. I think that we should look to bring in a better pitching coach. The one that I had actually seen and thought made a lot of sense for us to bring in was Dave Island. He has really good relationships and good development influence. I remember him being a pitching coach with the Mets in the past. Dave Island is someone that I'm going to bring in as our pitching coach for next year here with the Rangers. Going into some of the offseason moves, Todd Frazier's on an option year for almost $6 million. He was pretty mediocre last year. He batted 211, hit 13 home runs. I mean, he's not a $6 million player anymore. So we're going to avoid the last year of Todd Frazier's contract. Robinson Chirinos for $6.5 million. On the other hand, he did have a good year. This is a tough decision because he's getting up there in age. He's definitely regressed as far as a defensive catcher goes, but with a DH and him being popular with fans in Texas, I am going to execute the option on Robinson Chirinos. He will be back on the team in 2021. Reviewing the goals, obviously he's not happy with our team record this year. We didn't really upgrade third base. Todd Frazier didn't really pan out. So far we haven't acquired a hometown player, but we'll look to do that this offseason. Top prospects not really there. Our owner's good with our performance this year, although he's certainly not terribly happy. Our goals remain largely the same going in the future. He expects us to make the playoffs in the next 4 seasons, and still build a top 6 minor league team. These are some lofty goals, guys. I might end up getting fired here, but he did give us a new budget, which he's been very generous. We have a lot of money to play with in free agency this year. We have a lot of money for extensions. We obviously have to be careful to not overspend because eventually we're going to have to extend Joey Gallo. But as far as a top minor league system report goes, we're the 24th ranked system. Peterson is up there, and Sam Huff are both top tier prospects. So we've got 2. The arbitration period begins, a couple guys getting fired, and actually the league is looking to expand. So there's going to be 2 expansion teams in 2021, which is going to be interesting. I'm sure we're going to have to protect some players, and potentially they could look to I don't know, kind of mess with us. Oh, I forgot to mention Alex Reyes. He actually was good for us. He got hurt, but he pitched 36 innings to a 3.68 ERA. He's someone that obviously we're really excited about, but he did get injured going down the stretch here. Going into the off season, we're about to see what the expansion teams are. This is super interesting. This doesn't happen a lot in OOTP. Let's see. Kind of taking you guys through this live with me. I kind of want to walk you through the beginning of free agency and how we're going to go through arbitration. I'll go through some negotiations as far as free agents go, kind of off camera, and bring that to you at the start of preseason. But the expansion team. So we have the Jacksonville Villains and the Indianapolis Metro Stars. So we will have an expansion draft coming up here soon. We're going to go into arbitration though. We got to actually protect some players from this expansion draft. So let's look at which guys we're going to protect. Let's see what our AI recommends. Alex Reyes. I would like to protect. No, we're not going to protect Sin-Chu Chu because he is coming off contract. So we're going to protect Joe Barlow instead. The rest of this list looks about right. Yeah, they want to take Leclerc. I mean, take him. He was so bad for us this year. Sam Huff is someone I really want to protect. We're not going to protect Todd Frazier, obviously, so we're going to protect Sam Huff instead. We're not going to protect Justin Wilson. We are... anyone else? I don't think it's worth protecting Yohander. If someone wants to take him, they can. But let's see. Anyone else really that we think is worth protecting here? Martin, Chu, Hunter Cole. We don't have a lot of guys worth protecting, to be honest. I don't think there's a ton here. We know what we're gonna do. We might as well just DeMarcus Evans. His control's so bad. I'm actually gonna protect Leclerc. And we have to add one more person there. I guess we expect Trevor Betancourt to be on our team next year, so we'll protect him as well. So I believe we have 25 players on the list. Yes, we're going to submit this protection list so these players cannot be taken from our team. And then we are going to sim forward. Let's get into salary arbitration. Alex Reyes is someone that we obviously are looking to keep. He wants a salary of $1 million. Arbitration estimate $750,000. If we offer him $700,000, he will not take it. Okay. So we're actually gonna. I don't want to take him to arbitration and risk of kind of getting him angry. So let's see if he'll just take $800,000. Yeah, he will. Okay, cool. So we've got him signed for next year. Luis Garcia is not someone we're going to bring back. He's a minor leaguer. He's simply not worth the money. We can figure that out. Nick Goody was so atrocious for us this year. We're not going to bring him back either. We kind of have to revamp this bullpen. We brought in some people. I will bring back Rafael Montero. He had a good year. He is not interested in staying in Texas, so we're going to take him to arbitration. Tim Fedorovitz, he's very old. I'm not going to bring him back. Kiner Falefa is someone that I definitely am going to bring back. He played 59 games for us, batted .272. Let's see if we can get him for that 800 estimate. Yeah, he'll take it probably. So Guzman, we're obviously going to bring back. He's so young. Let's see, he doesn't want to, so we're going to take him to arbitration. Danny Santana, man, at $4 million, I don't know that he's necessarily worth it with a new center fielder in town. This is a tough decision to make. Let's see if I can kind of negotiate something with him. He doesn't want to. I think I'm just going to let Danny Santana walk, to be honest. We have a lot of depth at center field. And then obviously we're going to try to bring Joey Gallo back. He's actually open to a long-term extension with us, which is something that's interesting. He's definitely going to be the face of our franchise going forward. I don't know that I want to negotiate a long-term extension with him right now. I do believe we still have a couple years of team control over him. So let's see if he will take a 1-year kind of $9 million deal. He only made $4.5 million last year, so this is certainly an upgrade. We're probably going to have to take Joey Gallo to arbitration. We're not going to offer a qualifying offer to any of these players, obviously. We will let Justin Wilson and Jesse Chavez leave. As far as the rest of the minor leaguers go, we'll offer an extension here to... he wants to be a big leaguer. I actually think he might be worth giving a major league contract to. I do want to see if he'll take a minor league contract first, though. Derek Law, no. He's old. John Neese, no. Ref Snyder. Yadiel, we'll offer him a minor league extension. He saw some time with us last year. Swihart, no. We have to extend Cole Tucker. Maybe he'll take a minor league deal. If not, we might actually have to offer him a major league extension. And the rest of these guys are pretty atrocious. We will offer Nick Ciuffo one. Kenzie Mills can get a minor league extension. He was okay last year. Chen Ho Sang can get one. Yeah, he'll get a minor league extension. If these guys take them, if not, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I would like to keep, let's enter the awards. I would like to keep Cole Tucker, though. I'll likely try to make some moves to bring him back. So Gerardo did sign that minor league deal, as well as a few other players here. So that is great. Alex Reyes signed, so we don't have to take him to arbitration. Connor Falefa signed, so we avoid arbitration with him as well. So that's a good sign. Guys, this is going to be an interesting free agent period because we're going to have a lot of money to play with. I think once we go through arbitration and Chin Chu's off the books, and we might have upwards of $50+ million to play with in arbitration. Oh, and Cole Tucker signed that minor league extension, so that is great news, as well as the other guys that we had issues. Yadiel Rivera kind of wants a big league deal. He's 28. I get that. Definitely not with us. We didn't have anyone, of course, in the reliever of the year. Wouldn't be surprised if Joey Gallo got Randall Grichuk got it. So I doubt we're going to have anyone with awards, but we're going to fast forward to the free agency filings. Dave Island is on board with us for next year as our pitching coach, which is great. We receive a trade proposal. They've been trying to trade me Kevin Crone all year. I do not want Kevin Crone. So let's just get to the arbitration hearings. What I'll do then is I will end this video once we see kind of what we have to play with in free agency, and then I will take you guys through free agency. So we have already kind of went through our arbitration. We're going to finish today. Joey Gallo is going to get $12.5 million. Montero's going to get $900,000. Guzman $850,000. So that's great. So Joey Gallo might be a guy worth kind of looking to bring in. These are some of the international guys that are coming in. I don't know that there's going to be anyone here who's overly impressive, but this guy Orlando Diaz is kind of interesting. He's 30 though. He's a shortstop. I don't really need a shortstop, but Real Muto hits the free agent market coming off a great year. He's someone to be interested in. Mookie Betts hits the free agent market. I mean, that is someone I would be really interested in. We can kind of move Gallo out of right field, make him our DH. I mean, look, there's a lot of good. Trevor Bauer is hitting free agency. So there's actually going to be an interesting free agent market this year. Look, Springer avoids. So we're not getting Springer this year, but Jock Peterson, coming off a down year, might be someone to be interested in. So there's a lot here. Guys, we have some room on our active roster to play around with. I'll get back to you kind of when I get through free agency, highlight a lot of the moves that we ended up making. But thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. Take care.